Hello, great people. Now don't win, oh. Nigerians, now don't win. As soon as Outcry don't force President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to revoke the controversial presidential pardon list, and he has amended it, and he's even saying, even reference to say, my people, now because of una, now because una they throw me stone, now because una hold me by the jugular. That's why I review this list. Oh, I beg, make una forgive me. I have done the needful. What are the needful that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done? I will be telling you on this episode. The action that he has taken, the beneficiaries of it, how Nigerians and the Council of State forced President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to review the controversial presidential pardon. Now, who are the beneficiaries? Now, who they benefit from it? And what is the implication of the reviewed list on Nigeria's politics, governance, security, and the livelihood of the average Nigerians? We'll be doing all this and more on this episode of Politics with your show blog, Dr. Omosoladeji. First, if you watch me and you never subscribe to this channel, well, you need to subscribe so that all the tori as they hot when I could bring for una, definitely you could catch it real time. So if you are yet to subscribe, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification button. You will recall that on October 9, the presidency released a list of 175 people, where 70 of them were drug convicts. They were not, this is not allegedly, this is not suspect, they have been convicted. So 70 drug bearers were convicted. But now, Tinubu has reviewed the list and it reportedly have 86 names. 86 names that the presidency have, 86 names are in the new list released by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. First, let me say kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the sense that for him to decide to commute the sentences of Miriam Sanda, that was convicted for murdering her husband in year 2020, and convicts of kidnapping, drug fraud, illegal possession of firearms, for him to have commuted their sentences rather than for him to just free them by granting them full presidential pardon, I think that is commendable. Say I usually talk say on this channel, we don't like anybody, we don't hate anybody. If you do something right, we go talk. If you do something way bad, we go talk. On this one, thanks to the president for at least listening to Nigerians, and thanks to Nigerians themselves for speaking out. Because imagine, say everybody just turn zombie, definitely that is how the list would have sailed through. Now let us go to the press release that was released, the press statement that was released by Bayo Ononuga, media aide to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I must tell you that that particular list contains of 3 categories of convicts. You heard me right, 3 categories. The first one is people that were granted clemency. What do I mean by that? It means people that maybe they were sentenced to 20 years imprisonment, but the president has now reduced it to like maybe 15 years imprisonment. So they have gotten a reduction of sentences. That is number one. The second category is those whose death sentence have been reduced to life imprisonment. People where they convinced, oh yeah, go die. The president has reduced it to life imprisonment. What is the third category? The third category is those that benefited from posthumous pardons. What do I mean by that? It means that people where they convict, but those people, they don't buy. The president now said, well, let me pardon these people, despite the fact that they are dead and long gone. Those are the 3 categories of people that are in the presidential pardon list. And let me read something to you from the statement released by Bayo Ononuga. It says that instrument of presidential prerogative of mercy, grant of pardon 2025, in exercise of the powers conferred upon me by section 175 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and of all other powers enabling me in that behalf, I, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, hereby grant pardon to the following. And it has 15 names here. And these people, from what I'm seeing here, they are those that benefited from posthumous pardons. They comprise pieces of people like Ken Sarowiwa, Major General Mamanjia Vatsa, Abat Macaulay. Some of you know these names. If you don't know it well, maybe Google will help you out, because if I decide to explain, some of you go say, oh, Dr. Deji, your video go there too. Yeah, your video is too long. So make sure that you Google their name and you see that these people, they are dead. Some were justly convicted. Some were unjustly convicted. Somebody like Ken Sarowiwa, who killed him? Nah, Abacha killed him. Now, let us go to the next one. It also says that the normal intro section, so and so and so and so and so and all that. Now it says that he hereby commutes the death sentence of the following persons to life imprisonment. And in fairness to Tinubu, he tried, because now just 4 people, now him, he convicts their death sentence here to life imprisonment. Now let us go to the next one. The next one is those that he granted clemency. He grant them clemency, and there is 15 names here, and there's a list of so many others, a total of about 86 to 100 names that benefited from the clemency or the pardon or the prerogative of mercy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Again, kudos to the president for making amends, but there is a problem. The problem is that you've made amends. That's fine, that's commendable, but the global embarrassment, the first list cost, cannot be reversed, in the sense that when the presidency released that list, it went viral across the world that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that have been accused of having drug dealings in the past, is now pardoning convicts in Nigeria, and majority of them are drug convicts. That created a monumental embarrassment for the president. In fact, shame catch me on behalf of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because imagine, say that they call you thief, as they say in Yoruba, as they say that they call you thief, you can't they carry hen or goat, you can't they carry, and you say, oh, you they play with her. Well, the people will be suspecting you that are we sure that you are not trying to steal this chicken or goat? So that embarrassment is something that could have been avoided, and that is why I would say that the Tinubu boys, the heads of the president, should always think before acting. They should be thinking before acting. You are an aide to the president for a reason. You are an aide to help the president, not to cause embarrassment for the president. Another thing, before I go back to that particular point, something comes to mind. Imagine the sorrow of those granted full pardon and their families. Imagine, say, God forbid, you have a relation that is in prison. The person have been granted full pardon, now don't throw party, now don't announce, now don't buy cow, now don't buy goat, in fact, now don't buy ashwebi, now don't book date for church to do Thanksgiving service, now don't they prepared. You are just waiting for the person to be released, and suddenly, list came from the presidency again that, well, sorry, you cannot be released again because the president have changed his mind. I think that the presidency needs to apologize to the people that were pardoned, particularly their families, because it's going to be an emotional trauma for them that they have been pardoned, and now the list of the pardon has been revoked. And we should think about the consequential effect on the psychology of the wives of those people, their husband, and also their children, who would have been anxious that, oh, their dad or their mom or their brothers or their sister, father or mother is coming back home. Now, another thing that I saw in that particular list is that the pardon list shows something, that no region is populated by saints. Yes, you heard me right. No region in Nigeria is populated by saints. Everybody has one, bad person in any region in Nigeria. The region is not populated by saints, because in that list, you will find Yoruba there, you will find Igbo there, you will find Hausa Fulani there, you will find Ijo there, you will find Ibibio there. So it means, for those of you that usually castigate other ethnic groups, well, the list have shown that there's no ethnic group in Nigeria that is populated by saints. And was the first list, this is another thing, which is, was the first list a product of corruption? If that is the case, well, I'm sorry to announce to you that, sorry, your money is wasted, because the category of people that make that particular list makes it suspicious that, is it that these people, were they bribing some people in the presidency? Were they trying to maneuver their way? Because how did drug convicts make it to be the majority of people in that particular list that was initially released? And if you want to know more about this, I did a live on, I think, October 9 or 10, when that first list was released. If you want in-depth analysis of what I'm saying, do want to catch up with that live video. Now, was the first list a product of corruption? Well, I leave that to the police and the DSS. Now, I said earlier that the Tinubu boy should always think before acting. Why do I say so? The embarrassment is becoming one too many on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They should stop embarrassing the president. They should do their job and save the president from embarrassment. That was how they did when the president went to UAE, United Arab Emirates. They made a false announcement. It took the government of UAE to say, no, we didn't agree on this. So when the president went to Brazil, some aides would have deceived him that, oh, there's no more corruption in Nigeria. The president made that statement believing that such claim is true, and that was what led Omoyele Sowore to disclose, or should I say post, that the president is allegedly a criminal. Now, the third one is that of Japan. When the president went to Japan, that is how the aides of the president failed to do their due diligence, and they made a false announcement. It took the government of Japan to say, no, this was not what happened. This was not what we agreed on. So the embarrassment, to my mind, is becoming one too many. And that is why I will tell the Tinubu boys that don't just enjoy the presidential privilege. Don't just enjoy the glory and honor that comes with being an aide to the president. No, help the man, save the man from embarrassment, and do the needful. Lest I forget, shout out to the Council of State, comprising of former head of state, former president, former chief justice of Nigeria, and I think current governors as well. Shout out to them, the Council of State, for putting pressure on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because if the Council of State have not put pressure as acknowledged by the president, maybe he wouldn't have done anything. And also shout out to Nigerians as well, including you and I, that lent our voice when that first pardon list was released, that no, this shouldn't be the case. And let us imagine that this is how Nigerians usually speak with one voice. Imagine that a lot will be achieved. Imagine Nigerians speaking with one voice on critical issues, that when the list was released, the way Nigerians screamed, the way they roared, the way they expressed their anger to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Imagine if that is how Nigerians have been expressing themselves. A lot of change would have been achieved. So what I would say is that Nigerians should always try to unite if they want to see the change that they seek. And for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know that age is not on your side, and there's a little you can do. So what I can advise you is that make sure that the people that you have around you are your friends, and they are people that are competent, and they are people that have your interest at heart, that they will do their due diligence before bringing anything for you to append your signature. This is very important to save you, and not only you, Nigeria and Nigerians, from further embarrassment. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Joshua Plug, Dr. Omosholade. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.